Okay guys, we're going to have a little bit of wind noise here. I want you to see this because I don't normally record little chips like this anymore, but we have tint on the inside of the windshield and it makes it very difficult to see what I'm doing. So I wanted to show you that if you run into tint on the inside of the windshield, hold on, I have to put my glasses on. There we go. I was ill prepared. I didn't have my glasses on. I want to get the camera down here where you can see it. That doesn't have a big enough pit break for me. We're going to drill it. Open it up because we have this line coming all the way out to here. And then we have another line coming all the way out to here. And I don't know if the camera's picking up on that or not. Brand new drill bit. Don't even have to push on it. It just automatically goes. And it goes good. Love brand new drill bits. They sure do drill nice. Don't hardly have to put any pressure on the glass, which is nice. I change my drill bits about probably every 15 drills, I guess. It's hard to keep track of, so generally my general rule of thumb is I will change my drill bit either once a week or every 15 drills. So if I'm doing a lot of repairs throughout the week, then I keep track of it because I can, I can look and go, okay, I did 5 repairs this morning and 6 repairs this evening and this many repairs the next day and so on and so forth. So I can better qualify it that way. But if I'm not doing a ton of repairs, then I will generally, well, that's going to completely shade that and make it difficult to see, then I will generally just trade them out once a week. But any way you go about it, a fresh drill bit is nice to have. So again, I made her sign the form saying that if it cracks during the repair, she can't sue me because it's in a high tension area. Now, something I wanted to talk about. I was going to use my CR resin, but the windshield's actually pretty cool to the touch. So I have here, wow, let me find it. It's in here somewhere. This is my medium viscosity resin that I normally use when it's warm. And as you can see, this is the same exact bottle, but I ordered the thin resin, and when it got here, there was a hole in it, so I had to immediately pour it into this bottle because this bottle was empty. I always keep my empties. I keep my empties, so I keep this bottle in this pouch with my repair tools, because it says the same thing and I don't want to get them mixed up. I don't want to accidentally use medium when I need to use a thinner resin. And because this is in a high tension area, I'm using the thinner resin because I believe it'll flow better without as much pressure on it. We don't want to have to put a lot of pressure on this one being in a high tension area the way it is. So we want to limit the amount of pressure we're putting on the glass. And the thin resin will flow better. So I hope you can see what I'm doing here. A little more pressure. I can see it flowing into the lines. The medium pressure I would have, or the medium viscosity, I would have to use a lot more pressure on the resin to get it to flow. We're in fall now. It's fall, so everything's cooling off. And I don't always use the thin. I will generally, so the medium is the thickest I can get from Blue Diamond or Diamond Clear. The CR, which is crack fill, is a mix of the medium and the thin, so it's right in between the two, which is what I would normally use if the car was in the sun right now. On a temperature like today, I would normally use the CR resin because it's right between the medium and the thin. But because we're in the shade and it's cooler out here, I don't want to put that much pressure, and because it's in a high tension area on the windshield, I don't want to put that much pressure on the glass. So using the thin will help me get this filled in all the way without putting a lot of tension on the glass with the resin. So that's why we're using the thin. I just thought I would clarify that for you so you could understand a little bit better what my technique is here. And keep in mind that we just have to be very careful, because if it cracks, it's most likely going to crack this way towards the windshield, and we don't want it to do that. I mean towards the edge. We don't want it to do that, so I just have to be very careful. And not put a lot of tension on it at one time. We don't want it to crack, although I do make everybody sign that waiver saying that if it cracks during the repair, they can't sue me. And the reason I do that, especially on a windshield like this, is because I can't see my tool in the glass. I can barely see it. It's dark, so I can't see how much it's expanding to know how much pressure I'm actually putting on the glass. So I kind of have to wing it this way, and I don't like doing that. I don't like winging it. I like knowing how much pressure I'm putting on the glass, but these tinted windshields they're just impossible to be able to see how much pressure you're putting on the glass. Now normally, I really don't like opening these with a probe, but when I do it, you notice I don't really hold steady pressure on it that much. I open and close, open and close. And the reason I do that is because it becomes like a pump. So I open it and the resin flows in, and I've said this before, if I open it and allow the resin to flow in and then I let it close, that forces the resin farther down the line so that I can get them filled. I normally don't like doing it this way, but since I really can't see how much pressure I'm putting on the glass with the resin tool, with the bridge, this is the second best thing I can do. Get a little more pressure on there, because I really want this to fill in better. There we go. Now we got the right amount of pressure on it. That's filling in nice. Let's get this back side to fill in. I hate tinted windshields. I really do. I tell everybody, don't tint your windshield, please. But customers like what they like, and I just have to deal with it, you know. That's something we have to deal with when we're in business like this. Did you hear that? I said when we're in business like this. We have to deal with these kind of things. So that one's almost filled. A little bit more pumping action here, and that one will be filled in. Now sometimes when you get it real close to the end of the chip like this, sorry I keep turning my head away, you open it and then close it and let it set for a second to see how much farther the resin goes, because if you do this too fast, now see, I can see it's almost to the end, so open, let it close, open, let it close, and just watch the resin. You can see the resin flowing into the line. Open, let it close, because once the line is about 90% less visible, I'm going to quit doing this, because that way it's full. One more pump. That's it. That's all I'm doing. That is a full chip. So even if it's not completely invisible, it's okay, because I know the lines are full of resin, so they can't crack. Now I am going to use my actual medium resin to cover the pit and the lines and to seal it. And as you know, I always keep a light with me. I have two of these lights, and this tape doesn't reflect the light, so I have to shine it on my yellow rag, because this is completely transparent tape. It doesn't show the light like the translucent tape does. I prefer the translucent tape, but I ran out of it, so I had a little extra roll of this crystal clear. So I'm using it. It's the same thing. It's the same effect. It enhances the UV light so it cures it faster. But I just don't like the fact that my light doesn't show up on it. You have to excuse the way I'm talking. I have a little bit of indigestion. I ate just before I stopped for lunch, and then I came over here to do this one. And riding my motorcycle, my doesn't really help with digestion. So I want to thank everybody that's subscribing to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. You're really helping me out, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you'd click the like button and share the videos while you're at it. You know, if you're getting something out of the videos, or if you just enjoy watching them and you think other people want to watch them, you know, by all means, share the videos if you would. That would really help grow the channel. I've said it once before, and I'll say it again. The main purpose of this channel is for me to have a record of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And the second purpose is, you know, if somebody can get something out of it, maybe learn a technique that they weren't familiar with, or learn something new, or possibly, you know, just enjoy watching the videos for that matter. If that's all, that's great. But thirdly, I want to build this channel up enough to make a passive income from it so that I can do free repairs for, you know, elderly and disabled people that can't leave the house very much, that really, you know, really just can't go sit somewhere for 4 or 5 hours waiting for their vehicle to get fixed, you know, a chip repair or something, that really don't have the means to, you know, drop their vehicle off and take an Uber and things like that, you know. And possibly for some homeless people. I know some homeless people. I've done some free repairs for homeless people already in the valley here, but I'd like to be able to do more. But right now it's all about making a living, and I would like to get it to the point where I could do some free repairs like that. That would be awesome, but I have to make enough money off my YouTube channel to be able to justify that, because I can't just take time away from actually making a living to go do free stuff. I would love to, but you know, you run into that old adage that you do and do and do and do for other people, and eventually you have nothing left to give, and then everybody just kind of abandons you because you're no longer benefiting them. And that's true, and I don't want my life to turn out that way, so I don't want to end up like that. I was beginning to end up like that because I had a couple of YouTube channels where I was helping people, and it got to the point where that was all I could think about anymore, was what can I do next to help more people, and what can I do next, what can I do next. And I just got to the point where I was literally going insane. So I'm not going to base this on doing free repairs for everybody. So let's look at it from in here. Yep, very nice. I don't know if you can see that. Very, very good. Alright, let's put our rags away. One of these days I'll show you my pouches. But for now, that is a good solid repair, my friends. Beautiful. Alright, you know what to do. I'm sure you can see that pouch. These are actually tank bags, motorcycle tank bags. I just made pouches out of them for carrying all my tools with me, so I don't have to carry a toolbox around and set it down on the ground or set it on people's cars. Now see, with a tinted windshield and tinted glasses, it would have been impossible for me to see that repair, so I have to wear regular readers that are clear so that I can see what I'm doing. Alright my friends, that's it. I'll see you in the next video.